welcome back to the Marvel Live Lounge, straight from Artist Alley, a couple floors above. Joining us is Jed MacKay, a writer with Marvel. Jed, how's it feel? How's it feel to get out of the basement and into the floor?
It's good. It's good. You kind of forget there's a world outside of Artist Alley, and then suddenly you're brought up into the sun.
Nice. I was actually, it is nice. So I was actually at Artist Alley this morning. What has it been like down there interacting with fans here at New York Comic Con for the first time for some fans, and maybe yourself for a very long time?
It's been great. There's been really positive response to the books I've been working on. With my colleagues, Moon Knight, the various Black Cat stuff, and people are just really receptive to it. And it's really nice to kind of make that connection for the first time in however many years. I mean, last time I was in New York, it was 2019.
Oh, wow.
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a long time.
Okay, well, so you have a little bit of an extensive history, but I mean, in order to get into Marvel, you had started on online communities and fan communities, if I remember correctly, when you were younger, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what's that experience been like from being a fan and to becoming one of the creators?
It's been really interesting because when I was younger, it was also the message board stuff for young comic artists, and at the time I thought I was going to be a comic artist, but then. And it's interesting to see how a lot of us from that same forum have moved into the professional field of working in comics or working in comics adjacent, and it's honestly just kind of a surprise. the odds of getting to work professionally in comics as a living is they're kind of astronomical. So to beat the odds is a real privilege.
Listen, we're sitting here talking about Marvel like that. It feels crazy.
Yeah. You talked about your work on Moon Knight, and Moon Knight, of course, fan favorite character. Of course, those who have seen the show on Disney Plus, like Moon Knight. Now, all these fans are suddenly like, I'm seeing so many people. There's so many Moon Knights.
I know, there's a lot of Moon Knight costumes.
So I want to talk about that.
Sure.
Yeah, we see the cover there.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about what has it been like writing Mr. Knight. It's such an interesting facet of Moon Knight. Beyond being stylish, it's such an interesting facet to this already, to say the least, multifaceted character.
Oh, for sure.
What's that been like, tackling that personality of Mark Spector?
Yeah, it's been great. 'Cause, it's become almost immediately an intrinsic part of Moon Knight ever since Declan drew that costume and put him out there in that first issue. And the way we look at it, the way we deal with it in our series is, you have Mark or Jake or Steven are when it's time to go out and bust some heads. It's the Moon Knight. You have the cloak, the hood. But when he's interfacing with people, dealing with the public, then it's Mr. Knight who's out there. So that's kind of what we see as the function of those two different costumes and how they're used.
What's it like kind of going into the minds of both iterations of who he is as a person and being able to write those personalities? How does that interchange for you?
It's been really fascinating. It's something that we wanted to take our time and build up to. We didn't see any of his alters really until issue 12. So it's not something we wanted to jump into immediately, and that's certainly not something I wanted to jump into immediately before I was able to speak to people with DID and try to get more of a sense of what it's like, as opposed to the more sort of sensationalistic view of DID that we often see throughout media history. So it's been really kind of rewarding too to see people respond to it in a mostly positive way.
Yeah, absolutely.
People saying this is something that reflects my experience more than perhaps other incarnations of characters with DID in the past. So it's been great, and I hope that it's something that satisfies or does service to people who have this condition and would like to see themselves more positively in media.
Of course, yeah. So. Now, another character that we've seen a lot of, and we're going to see a lot of, is Doctor Strange.
Of course.
Yes. And so you are working on...
R.I.P.
I know.
Yeah.
So, death of storylines are so... it's a big moment when we see that death of someone. So what has that been like, writing this? Of course, it's going to be monumental in the story of Doctor Strange. So what has it been like tackling the death of Doctor Strange?
It was daunting at first. When I first got the job to do Doctor Strange, I had just had emailed the editor because I noticed there are no Strange books going on and I needed a new job. I said, hey, can I write Doctor Strange, please? And he said, sure. I'm like, oh, that's that easy. He's like, yeah, we're going to kill him. and you get to write it. I was like, oh, duh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's been great. Anytime we have a death of story, fans are understandably kind of leery of it because we've seen a lot of death of stories. So we wanted to give them something that kind of turned it on its head a bit. And so rather than build up to Strange's death in issue 5, we just kill him the first issue. And the rest of it is, we find out who did it. What's the fallout? How is the world going to change? And we see that, cascading through the series Strange, but we launched off the back of it, where we see, Clea Strange as the Sorcerer Supreme of Earth, and going out there and doing things her way.
That's great because it feels like it lets the readers grieve along.
I think so. Yeah. Well, I hope so.
Yeah. Well,
because there certainly was some grief after that first issue. So.
All right, let's talk about one last character you got in your hands, Iron Cat.
That's right.
Iron Cat, one of my favorites. I mean, you have so many characters you've obviously been writing with. I just love to understand the mindset of how you get into the groove of writing some of these characters. Do you have a ritual you get into? You got to sit down and stare at an action figure of Iron Cat as you're writing them?
I mean, a lot of it is just kind of, I often liken it to like a rock tumbler, where you chuck something that's just kind of rugged and not quite ready to go. You chuck it in, and it spins until eventually you can pull out something at least semi-precious.
Yeah.
And that's generally how I approach it. I'll go and walk my dog. I don't listen to music. I don't listen to podcasts. It's just keep rolling those rocks around in my head until I can pull something out that's useful. And that's just kind of what it comes down to for all these characters.
Awesome.
Be it a bit of dialogue or something for them to do or something for them to run into or deal with. And that's just kind of it.
Nice.
Just the process.
Yeah.
so to speak.
It rolls on the ride.
Exactly.
Keep on
exactly.
Jed, thank you so much for your time, for your insight. Always amazing to talk to the creators that we have here at Marvel and kind of give some of the fans out there an insight into your mindset and your process. And stay tuned because we're going to be talking to more amazing creators like Jed all throughout New York Comic Con 2022. Stay tuned.